this point, I am taking my tornado precautions.
Absolutely.
If I'm in Spiritwood, if I am in places like Wimbledon, Leal, Rogers, Sanborn, I'm watching this very, very closely.
There's a tornado warning that just is popping onto my screen now.
Yep.
Tornado warning for the cell that Eric is looking at, that we have the live feed of. Tornado warning in effect until 9 o'clock for portions of Stutsman County. Again, he listed off those cities, a couple in particular, Spiritwood Lake. If you're in that vicinity, you want to seek shelter immediately. This is radar indicated rotation. We have eyes on the skies right here. You can see it in real time. We're not seeing a tornado at this moment, but we've seen some significant lowering. We're seeing that on radar as well. So we're keeping a very, very close eye on this here. In addition to the radar indicated tornado threat, we're also watching that potential for hail upwards of 3 inches in diameter. Getting lots of photos. The Jamestown Marina campground looks to be some golf ball size hail. So lots of reports. A former weather kid, Corbin in Jamestown, sending along a report of some golf ball size hail as well in Jamestown. So significant hail threat, and that is very picturesque. Also looking at that radar indicated rotation. Nate and back, are we able to take a split screen here? Talking to my director in the back. I'm just turning on the rotation, the velocity data. So right here, just north of I-94 in the Spiritwood area up towards Spiritwood Lake, this is where we're seeing those signs of rotation. I'm going to zoom in even closer here, see if we can get some crossroads. Hopefully you can read that. Looks to be 87th Avenue Southeast. My eyesight is not the greatest. Oh, it's much clearer here. Yes, 87th Avenue Southeast, 34th Street Southeast. There's 33rd Street Southeast. If you're in this vicinity, this is exactly what Eric is looking at from afar and seeing that rotation and that lowering of that wall cloud that he has been on for about an hour or so. Hail core as well looks to be slightly diminished from what we've been seeing over the last, let's say, 15 to 20 minutes, but we're having a lot of reports coming in of very large hail. Again, I'm looking at pictures here that are being passed along. The Jamestown Marina Campground, Jamestown golf ball size hail, from the looks of it, from these reports. And again, we also had this photo come in Jamestown as well from Angela Mortensen. We're not done yet. This is kind of the start of our severe risk for tonight. In case you missed it, our severe threat has increased even further. We're looking at an enhanced to moderate risk for severe storms right in between these areas here, the reds and the orange. That's a level 3 and 4 out of 5. So significantly large hail. Destructive wind gusts coming later on tonight, 80 to 90 miles per hour, strong tornadoes possible. A few things, what you can do, I could just show this one, we'll go this one. Make sure you have multiple ways to receive alerts tonight if storms are approaching your neck of the woods. So right now it's in the Jamestown area, expecting more widespread severe weather as the night progresses. Download the Valley News Live weather app, make sure your notifications are turned on, your location is set. You can get updates through valleynewslive.com, here on air, social media. I know these are going out over social media as well. A NOAA weather radio, also a great tool to have. And if you're signed up for those wireless emergency alerts, you'll get them pinged right to your phone as well. Just going through a couple of reports here. Joseph, it looks like, I'm sure you're seeing this text thread. We're getting permission to use these photos as well. Hoping to get these updated into our system. Let's take another look at where the actual storm is right now. Taking a second to load, lots of data coming in. So I want to point out this feature right here. Looks like a hook. That's called a hook echo. That indicates rotation. Okay, Eric is repositioning right here, so we're gonna take his feed as well. But right here is a hook echo in the Spiritwood area. That's the most likely potential area. If this storm is going to drop a tornado, that's where we would see it. And I wonder if we can see it even better if I turn velocity data back on here. Yep, just in that exact same area, the pinks and greens, that is showing the areas of rotation, very tight rotation, just west of Spiritwood. Eric, can you hear me right now?
Yes, Summer, I can hear it here.
All right, we see you on the move. Where are you headed?
If you look on the, I'm going to head east because this storm is starting to surge a little bit to the east. And so I'm going to get back on I-94. I'm going to go a few more miles back towards Valley City and then continue to watch this storm. Because it is so close to the warm front, this storm is most likely going to latch onto the warm front, Summer. And that means that the tornado threat, the threat for large hail and damaging winds, that is going to continue to increase over the course of the next half hour to 45 minutes. But yes, that is what I'm doing right now. I might have seen a very brief touchdown just to the east of Jamestown. I am going to have to look at my video to confirm, but it looked like it was about 2/3 of the way to the ground. So, but either way, if I am in Spiritwood Lake, if I am in Sanborn, if I'm in Leal, I'm thinking about my tornado precautions at this time. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Eric, for being able to provide these and being willing to go out chasing for us. Very valuable information that you're able to pass along, not only to me to provide to folks who are watching this on air, but to our partners at the National Weather Service as well. Continuing just to read some reports in there. Let me switch back to the Grand Forks feed here. Lots of channels to sort through as we're getting a lot of information, not only in eastern North Dakota, but out west approaching Bismarck, seeing some severe weather moving on in as well. But we now have a new tornado warning just issued. This one is for, again, portions of Stutzman County, but also parts of Lemoore County, including the cities of Montpelier and Ypsilanti. Ypsilanti are kind of on the northwestern fringe of this box here, if you kind of orient yourself. Montpelier headed your way as well. So this one, we are looking at radar indicated rotation as well, in addition to baseball size hail, 2.75 inches in diameter. So let's get a look at rotation on this one right here. It's where we see the reds and the greens coming together. That's where we're seeing that kind of axis of rotation just north of Highway 46 and west of Highway 281. This is just west of you in Montpelier, and I'm going to put a loop on this just over the last, let's go 15 minutes. This is tracking to the east. Joseph, are you able to see how fast these storms are moving? I'm going to try to put a storm track on these.
The one in west central Barnes County is moving northeast at 15 miles per hour. The one in Barnes County is moving northeast at 15 miles per hour.
Okay. Just going to put a track on this, zoom out a bit. Northeast, 15 miles per hour. Ypsilanti, if you're in the path of this, you're going to want to be in your safe place, your shelter area sooner rather than later. But it's moving into your region by around 9:18. It's currently 8:42, so it's kind of a slow moving storm. Joseph, what about the Jamestown area storm? Can you see that one for me?
The one in northwestern Lemoore and the one in northwestern Lemoore and southeastern Stutzman County is moving east at 20 miles per hour.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's take a look at this here. Northeast, 15 miles per hour. Let's zoom back out here. Thank you for your patience as I kind of orient my graphics here. We're going to go right on the outer edge of this here and go out. Actually, we're going to do this one instead, give a broader picture. 15 miles per hour. Okay, so Leal, if you're in the path of this tornado warning, as Eric had called out, in the next maybe 10 minutes, expecting this storm to be in your vicinity, at least the outer edges of it, by 8:58. Daisy, kind of on the fringes of that tornado warning, but if it holds together by about 9:30, expecting it in your region. So again, what I was pointing out here is the hook echo feature. I'm going to erase all that so we can get kind of a clean slate here. Right over Spiritwood is where we're seeing this hook echo feature. That's a classic radar signature of rotation. So when we see that, we are really seeing that that storm has a potential to produce some tornadoes. So looking at velocity again, right over Spiritwood, you see those bright pinks and the greens. That's where we're seeing the greatest rotation at this time. I'm not seeing any confirmed tornado reports yet at this time. I've been filtering through reports again from a couple of National Weather Service offices. So this is all radar indicated rotation, but regardless, I would head to your safe location right now. So here's another look at those tornado safety tips. If you're at home, head to a basement or a lower level away from all windows. Get low and protect your head. Mobile homes, RVs, campers, not safe places to be. You're going to want to evacuate as soon as you can safely do so and seek shelter in a sturdier structure. If you're in an apartment or an office building, that first level hallway or an interior room. So you want to make sure that tonight, again, this is kind of the start of what's going to be a very active night. Make sure you've got multiple ways to receive alerts and warnings, ones that are going to wake you up in case of nighttime storms in your location. Make sure your notifications are on, your volume is up, your phone is charged, and you have those location settings set. Storms, even without tornadoes, can be very dangerous. Lightning in and of itself can be a danger. And we're also, again, watching that very large hail and significant wind threat for tonight. So what are some ways that you can stay informed? Take a look here. Your Valley News Live weather app is a great tool. valleynewslive.com. We're streaming on social media as well through our digital desk. Got some colleagues that are awesome in streaming that for us. NOAA weather radio is a great option to have, and wireless emergency alerts if you're signed up on your phone as well. All right, let's get back to tracking these two tornado warnings that we are currently watching. So this first one here, north of I-94, this is the first one that was issued. It remains in effect for about another 15 or so minutes until 9 o'clock for Barnes County. Not only, again, are we seeing the rotation as I just showed you, but we're also looking at hail up to 2 inches in diameter. And another thing that I can show you here is called correlation coefficients, or really what's called correlated targets. So what I'm seeing here is the radar is picking up on sizes of different objects. So where you see the kind of purplish reddish shading, that's pretty uniform topics. Looks like we're pulling up Eric's feed again. Uniform targets, not topics.
Hey, Summer.
Uniform targets. Yes, Eric.
Yep. Summer, if I am in Spiritwood, I am taking my tornado precautions right now. The wall cloud is starting to get wrapped in rain, but I can still see inside of it. There appears to be a lowering funnel cloud that is located in that hook area that you're talking about. It's right on what we would call, from a storm chaser perspective, weather perspective, it is on the edge of what we call the RFD punch. So that is adding in a little bit of spin. I can see the rain curtains wrapping around this area of rotation. It would not surprise me if there is a tornado on the ground near Spiritwood right now, just based on what I'm seeing here. I am going to have to move very quickly to stay ahead of the hail, which is still significant. Back to you.
Yeah, your safety is definitely what's most important here as well. We greatly appreciate your live looks. And kind of what I was showing, those correlated targets, kind of in line with what Eric is seeing right there. So where we have the, we'll call that magenta colors, that's uniform targets, meaning the radar is seeing targets of about equal size. So what does that mean? Rain is most likely, but where we start to see kind of the yellows and greens, that could indicate some hail. But also when we start to see more of the blue, that tells us that radar is picking up on debris or targets that are of various sizes and not correlated at all. Those targets are very, very different. So I'm going to keep a close eye on that near the Eccleston area right now for if we start to see a debris signature, but starting to see some targets that are not quite as uniform at this time around Eccleston and Spiritwood. Even up towards the north, maybe moving up towards Leal. And we'll put a loop on this of the last, let's go 15 minutes, just to show the general direction. It's not moving much. This is a pretty slow mover. It's only moving to the east-northeast, roughly 15 miles per hour. So kind of a slow mover. And you can see Eric there is repositioning. But we have got 2 tornado warnings. So let's take a look at that other one that we were watching as well here. This one right here near Montpelier. Ypsilanti are also within this tornado warned box, but as you can see right here, it's starting to take on those characteristics of a hook echo right over to Highway 281, where we kind of see that C shape. So we're going to continue to watch this one very closely. If you're in Montpelier, I hope you're in your safe spot right now, in a sturdy structure, lowest level in your protected area. I'm going to turn on velocity data here on this storm as well. Right where you see those reds and greens coming together too, that's where we're seeing that radar indicated rotation. Not seeing still any confirmed reports of tornadoes. Just filtering through these reports here, one more second. Not seeing anything new in regards to any confirmed tornado reports. However, we have had reports, confirmed reports of large hail as well. So kind of the bigger picture here, we're starting to see those storms pop in east central North Dakota, another round of storms off to the west as well. And Eric, you are on the move, so can you tell us where you're heading right now? I see you're on I-94.
Summer, correct. I am on I-94. I am just a couple of miles east of Eccleston. I'm headed towards the Sanborn exit. Looking back to my west towards that Spiritwood area, there is quite a bit of motion and rotation in the clouds and rotation of the rain curtains. I am seeing some signs that there may be a potential rain-wrapped tornado in there or something that is rain-wrapped. So I would be if I am in near Spiritwood, if I am along I-94, I would be taking my tornado precautions. If I live basically anywhere from Spiritwood Lake over towards I would say probably the Rogers area, I would be taking my tornado precautions. Even if I'm not in the tornado warning, I would expect that this tornado warning is going to be extended towards Sanborn and Rogers in the next couple of minutes. The inflow, Summer, which is the energy that feeds this storm, is increasing very strongly. I'm feeling there's very strong energy, what we call inflow, going into this storm, and so that is just going to continue to add fuel and energy. Even though there's a storm to the south of it, there is just that much energy around right now to where this storm is still able to maintain itself.
It's
back to you.
To remain discreet, yeah. So this is the radar. We can pull that back up here. There we go. This is the radar of the storm he's looking at. So he's currently back on I-94, getting ahead of the storm. So he's traveling back to the east, but behind him to the west, this is what he's seeing right there, those signs of rotation, very strong rotation. And looks like this tornado warning is being updated, perhaps. Let me see here. The current warning is in effect until 9 o'clock, so about 7 more minutes. This would potentially be extended as we're continuing to see the rotation, that classic hook echo shape. And I'm going to turn on the velocity data again here so we can see exactly where most of that rotation is. So right between Eccleston and Spiritwood, just as Eric was telling us, that's where we're seeing the strongest rotation in this current storm. So Spiritwood, I really hope you're in your safe shelter right now. As Eric mentioned, could possibly be rain wrapped, which makes it harder to confirm, because rain wrapped essentially means the rain is coming down so heavy you might not be able to see a tornado in the storm. So just make sure you're prepared as we head into here the next couple of hours. And yes, I'm seeing that there is a new tornado warning. So this one has been updated. Going to get the details on this here. So a new tornado warning for west central Barnes County. At 8:33, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Spiritwood, this exact one that we have been watching here, moving northeast at 15 miles per hour. We're also looking, just hearing that, Eric, we have a tornado.
Tornado.
We've got a tornado. Where are you looking?
Correct.
Right now?
We have a tornado. We have a tornado summer. I am moving my feed to get at it, to get some video of it. We do have a tornado. This is confirmed. It appears to be a very stout tornado. I'm getting my feed on it for you right now. There you go. We have a tornado. We have a what appears to be a fairly significant tornado.
What street are you on right now, Eric? Which direction are you looking?
I am 2 miles south of Sanborn in Barnes County.
And you are looking back to the west, correct?
Yes, I'm looking to the west. We have, that is what I would call a pretty stout tornado summer.
That is a classic textbook tornado if I have almost ever seen one. Wow. So there you have it, folks. This storm that we've been watching. Yes.
On the ground.
That is a confirmed tornado right there from our storm chaser, Eric Whitehill, who has been on the ground and really forecasting along with us here over the last couple of days. This tornado warning remains in effect here. The current warning until 9 o'clock, we are seeing that confirmed tornado. Eric, are you able to see any spin up on the ground? Is that tree line in the way? Almost appears that it might be starting to lift a bit. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It looks like it's starting to lift it's starting to lift just a little bit. That's good that it's lifting. But it could still be on the ground, Summer, just because we're not seeing ground condensation.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It could still be on the ground because you've got the winds wrapping around it.
Exactly, yes.
I believe, just based on my experience and what I have seen in the past, I believe this is still on the ground. I believe we still have a circulation on the ground near Sanborn.
All right, and that
just
warning,
to the west of Sanborn.
That warning was just now reissued. There is a new tornado warning for the same storm that we're looking at right here near Eccleston, Sanborn, Spiritwood. This is an observed tornado, as you can see right here from our very own storm chaser, Eric Whitehill.
It's
going back down.
It's back on the ground, Summer. It's back on the ground. Yeah, it's back on the ground. If you can see this, it's back on the ground.
You can see it crystal clear, yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're able to observe this from a safe location, Eric. But you've been in this business for, what, 20 plus years?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so this tornado warning in effect until 9:30, folks. I'm going to pull up your tornado safety tips here.
I'm about 5 miles away from it right now.
5 miles, okay. So he is looking back to the west from his current location. Folks, if you're in this vicinity, you want to be in your shelter area, a basement, a lowest level away from windows. We've seen this make contact with the ground, and Eric, it almost looks like it's becoming more rain wrapped, at least from my perspective, getting a little bit harder to see and clearly define. I mean, you can still clearly see it, but it's getting a little fuzzier around the edges.
Yeah, it is becoming rain wrapped, but the tornado is still on the ground. So if I'm in Sanborn, if I'm in Rogers, I am taking my tornado precautions at this time, and if I'm in Valley City, I'm paying really close attention to this.
Absolutely.
Summer, I can still see it. It might be a little bit harder here on the video. It's getting wider.
Yeah,
it's getting
believe I
wider,
see that
Summer,
as
from
well.
where I'm at.
Nate, are we able to pull up boxes? Thank you very much. I just want to kind of highlight for folks at home. Can you pull them up behind me, actually? Because that tornado is becoming a bit more rain wrapped, it's becoming a little bit harder to see. I want to kind of point out the outer edges of it, if we're able to get his feed behind me, if that's at all possible. It is becoming rain wrapped. It's a little hard. It's okay, Nate. I misspoke there. There we go. Okay. So right here is the outer edge. Here is the other edge. So it appears to be a quite wide tornado, still in contact with the ground. And as we've been watching this over the last 5-10 minutes, kind of lose track of time here, it does appear that it is becoming wider. So watching this very, very closely. All right, I'm going to pull up radar again, Nate, so we can get another picture. This is not the only tornado warned system that we've been watching either, but here it is right here, the observed tornado that we have seen with our eyes from our very own Eric Whitehill. This new warning in effect until 9:30. If you're in Sanborn, seek shelter immediately if you're not already in your shelter. That tornado, confirmed, is just off to the west of you. Spiritwood, that storm is exiting your vicinity. So some good news there, but it's headed towards the Highway 1 corridor, just along and north of I-94 as well. So if you have friends, family traveling along I-94, make sure to give them the heads up that this is a considerable threat for that observed tornado, in addition to hail up to 2 inches in diameter. I'm going to throw on velocity here as well. That is very classic. And again, we're seeing that it has made contact with the ground, but the radar signature or the velocity signature to further confirm that as well. And I put this feature on just a few minutes ago. It's called correlated targets, and I'm going to take a look at it again because I want to see if there is a debris signature. Looks like it's getting cut off a bit. Okay, so it's possible that we're seeing a debris signature there, but what I can tell you is this is a fairly rural area, so it's possible that we're not seeing a lot of debris being spit up if it's over a field or a bit more of a remote location. I'm going to continue to watch this though as we continue our coverage here. I'll turn off the lightning data too because that kind of overwhelms it. So Eccleston and Sanborn, that confirmed tornado right in your vicinity just north of I-94, and significant hail threat too, up to 2 inches in diameter. So even if you're not in the tornado part of this storm, you can see further back just to the north and west a little bit, a large hail threat. Radar indicated hail size of about 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches. However, we're seeing that it's capable of producing hail up to 2 inches in diameter. So that's what we're seeing right now on the hail core. Let's look at the hail track though. As you can see, just north of Sanborn, north of Spiritwood, the hail core was stronger. So we're continuing to watch this significant hail threat as well. And as I've been pointing out, this is not the only storm that we're watching. Just to the south here too, just along and north of Highway 281, we've got another hail core as well. This is 81st Avenue Southeast and Highway 46. Here's Highway 281 right there. So kind of in the cross sections there is where we've got a large hail threat. All right, we're going to zoom out a little bit now, kind of take a look at the bigger picture once again. As I've mentioned several times, this is kind of just the beginning of what we're expecting here tonight. We expected that severe threat to kick off around 8 o'clock. I believe the first warning came in 7:50 or so. I would have to double check on that, but right before 8 o'clock is when we saw that first warning come in. So right on track for at least the timing of what we expected. All right, Eric says he can no longer tell if it's still down on the ground, that tornado, because it has become rain wrapped, and that can make tracking these a bit more difficult simply because you cannot see it as it is wrapped fully in rain, kind of obscuring that view. And we were able to see that on Eric's feed as well. It was very clearly defined at one point, and then it became a little fuzzier, a little grayer around the edges. And I think we're going to take his feed again here one more time to see what he is seeing. Eric, are you able to tell me what you're seeing right now?
Summer, right now it appears to be wrapped if it is still on the ground. It is starting to get a little bit, it's starting to surge towards the east a little bit. So in the interest of safety, I'm going to get back on 94, go another mile or two east, and then start to take another look back at it. The winds on the ground, Summer, they are still blowing 30, 40 mile an hour plus, yep, feeding energy into this storm. So the inflow is still very strong going into the storm, but right now I can't tell if it's on the ground because the storm appears to be rain wrapped, or the tornado appears to be rain wrapped. So that makes it a lot more difficult to spot. If I'm in the tornado warning, Summer, I am definitely taking my tornado precautions just based on what I was seeing, how strong that tornado was when it was down. I would definitely be taking my tornado precautions, but I'm going to reposition to the east, towards Rogers, and then get another image of it there, just another couple of miles up the road.
Yeah, we've been stressing to folks at home that safety is of the utmost importance right now. You want to seek shelter in a sturdy, safe structure, have multiple ways to receive your alerts, your warnings. But Eric, your safety is important as well as you're out on the road. And as we've been talking about, not only are tornadoes a threat tonight, but large hail. So we're getting more photos coming in here. Thank you so much to meteorologist Joseph Williams, who's here, who's helping me get these photos in. So I showed you this one a little bit ago, quarter to golf ball size hail in Jamestown. Thank you to Angela Mortensen for sharing that one. This one is quite impressive. This is from Lakeside Marina in Jamestown. Colleen, that is a lemon, and that is the hailstone. That is very large hail. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know the diameter of a lemon. However, you can picture one, and that is larger than a lemon. That is very impressive and likely going to do some damage as well. Here you can see this is in Jamestown as well, just southwest in Jamestown. Brianna sharing that one there. And one more photo here too. Looks to be maybe golf ball size hail, also at the Jamestown Marina campground. I want to stress this tonight, camping, if you're out in a tent, in a camper, an RV, a mobile home, you want to seek shelter, because even if you're not seeing a tornado warning, large hail like this can create some damage. So I want to go over the timeline again. Just a very broad overview of what you can expect tonight. Now through about midnight, we're already seeing those storms firing in eastern North Dakota, going to continue to expand in overall coverage. Central Valley, 11 p.m. through about 2 a.m., and then into western Minnesota into the early overnight hours. And in case you missed it, it's been a while since I've showed this here. The severe threat has only increased for tonight. We've got that enhanced to moderate risk of severe weather for tonight, and that continues through about 4 o'clock in the morning. Large hail, I never fixed my typo there, over 2 inches in diameter, as we're already seeing come in. Significant wind gusts are expected still to come tonight as the storms become more linear. Significant wind gusts of 80 to 90 miles per hour will be possible, along with the continued chance of tornadoes as well. Looks like Chief Meteorologist Russ Thomas just walked in. Sorry, I'm trying to look at what do you got for me?
I don't know that I have anything specific or new. First of all, I don't have my microphone
I
on,
think we
so
can
I'll
hear
just
you on
talk
mine.
really
Yeah,
closely,
yeah.
just fine. Yeah, just Joseph was giving me the updates here, just walked in. You're doing a great job, but I tell you what, the one thing I noticed right away here is looking at that area, that storm threat, jumping
Yeah.
up to moderate. I mean, enhanced, and we've been talking about this a lot over the last day or so, how when we have an area that's enhanced, that's really unique to have something as large as that in our area. I'm going to
Yes.
step off to the side here just so you can see it and hopefully hear me okay. And now we've got this area right here shaded in red where you've got that moderate. We
Yeah.
rarely do reach this point, and again, it's over such a wide area. It's kind of what we expected summer. We talked, I'll just come up here and come
Sure,
next to
yeah.
over here so that, we can let the
There we go.
One of the things we talked about was the timing on this, starting around 8 o'clock. That's exactly about when things started firing up.
Yeah, 5 to 10 minutes beforehand, but pretty close. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And what we've seen, kind of what we expected, it was right away when we first saw this over the last 24, 48 hours, really started getting to this, that you just knew. I mean, tornadoes were going to be a part of this, and they'll
Yeah.
continue to be a part of it. We're seeing it start in the area that we expected to see it, which was around Jamestown, that area.
Yep.
And unfortunately, as we look at the movement of these, this is all east-northeast, so what's happening is that line of storms, the strongest storms, and the best opportunity to see severe weather, to see not just severe thunderstorms, but tornadoes as well, that is going to eventually work its way toward the Red River Valley. And the reality is if you're in Fargo Moorhead in the next hour and a half or so, and you can see, again, spreading a little to the north as well. You just pulled this up, Mayville, Hillsborough. Thank you for doing that. You've
Yeah.
been doing such a good job here on the cart as well. And I'm just going, okay, I'm just going to follow what Summer's doing here. But yeah, so everything is kind of playing out exactly like we thought it would. And the unfortunate part of that is we're sitting here going, what time is it? 9:10, and we know that within the next 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, we kind of figured up until about 4 a.m. we'd see this system, these storms firing up. And again, because it's happening as we expected, as planned, we're looking ahead and going, okay, we can continue to see these tornado warnings pop up, these tornadoes themselves, that, and again, pushing off to the east. So as we look at areas like Castleton, like Fargo, we're going, okay, in the next hour and a half, 2 hours, as I just mentioned, the likelihood of seeing a tornado gets higher and higher as we continue to see what's going on to our west and know that what we thought would develop is actually playing to form.
Right. Yeah. We never want to scare folks at home.
Right.
We're just preparing you for the very real likelihood of what we could see tonight and now what we are seeing tonight. It looks like we've got a severe thunderstorm warning from Page up towards Mayville in the Clifford area as well. This just popping up here in the last few minutes, so I want to get a look at this. This one is warned for quarter-size hail and gusts up to 60 miles per hour just there off to the west of Clifford, northwest of Galesburg. This warning in effect until 10 o'clock this evening. We've still got that tornado warning along the I-94 corridor. I apologize. I hope I'm not moving that too fast. That was kind of jumpy. For that previously observed tornado, unsure if it was still on the ground as Eric had, looks like, all right, taking Eric's feed. He says again, we've got a tornado. Eric, where are you? What are you seeing right now?
Summer, I am just to the west of Valley City, and I am looking off towards my west. I have what appears to be another tornado on the ground just south of the interstate. Give me just a minute here, and we're gonna I'll have it in my, I'll have it here in the, give me a minute.
Yeah, take your time. Make sure you're in a
There
safe
it is,
spot
right.
there. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Saw it there.
Yeah, we have what appears to be another tornado here, Summer. Just south of the interstate. This is going to be just west of Valley City.
All right,
Just west of Valley City right now, Summer.
south of the interstate. I'm getting my bearings here. All right, getting my bearings here on the radar for your exact location there. Crystal clear view of another tornado. All right. And you said that's just south of the interstate, south of Valley City?
Yes, just west of Valley City.
West of Valley City, I apologize. All right, I think I
Yeah,
see the area.
Just west of Valley City.
Believe I see the area of rotation that is producing that tornado. So Can you clarify for me, Eric, how far from Valley City are you right now?
I am, give me just a second here, I will get you that. I am 4 miles west of Valley City. 4 miles west of Valley City.
Okay,
So
yep,
if I'm
I
in
see it
Valley
on
City,
the.
I am, yep. Yep.
Nate, if you're able to pull up boxes for me, I want to show folks where that is on radar. Okay, so there we are. Here is Valley City right here. Eric is about here, looking back towards this storm here that is dropping that tornado just south of I-94. We'll turn on the radar here too so you can see. There we go. Eric, is this in a current tornado warning?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so we're a little further here. Still within this one here. Okay, so that same storm has produced another tornado. Okay, so this same tornado
Yes,
warning.
and
Okay.
this one, yep, it's another tornado.
Okay, thank you so much for that clarification.
I believe this is a different,
Different
I believe
part
this
of the
is
storm.
a different tornado than
Yes.
the one that we saw. Yep.
The one that you saw earlier was tracking to the east and northeast. This one is now south of the interstate. So it's the same storm system, but a different part of the storm has dropped yet another tornado. Okay.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for that clarification. That is
Yep,
a
and
crystal
this,
clear view
this-
there.
Yep. This appears to be another what I would call stout tornado.
Yes. And I want to point out to folks at home, you may be saying, oh, is this an EF2 and EF3? We won't know probably till tomorrow or perhaps even the next day. Tornadoes are ranked based on damage that they cause. So a team from the National Weather Service will go out and assess damage and later provide a ranking to these tornadoes. So I just want to clarify any perhaps misconceptions there that tend to go around on social media. All right, Eric is 4 miles west of Valley City. I'm looking south of I-94. Another tornado from this tornado warning here. This warning still in effect, a considerable threat for the observed tornadoes. This is now the second one within this storm complex. Thank you so much, Russ.
You bet.
So right here
Oh,
is where we're
wow.
watching that second area. What are you seeing, Eric?
This is what I would call a strong tornado summer.
Okay.
This appears to be fairly strong where it's at. It's also in what we would call a very, very favorable environment.
Absolutely.
This tornado's been on the ground for probably 5 minutes right now. 4 or 5 minutes it's been on the ground for. And it's continuing to move east. Continuing to move to the east. So
All
if
right.
I am near I-94, if I'm in Valley City, I'm getting ready to take my tornado precautions. This cell appears it might be cycling a little bit, but this tornado is still on the ground, Summer. It's still on the ground. Even though it looks like it's just above the treetops, I can still see debris getting wrapped up around it from the base.
Nate, are you able to pull up boxes again for me, please? I want to put on a storm track here. So this complex, I'm just going to go right on the edge of the tornado warning, get ahead of it a little bit. It's moving to the east. Got to redo that here, I apologize. Moving to the east at now 20 miles per hour, so still kind of a slow mover. But here's what we're looking at. If it holds together, approaching Valley City by about 9:37, so that's 20 minutes, but I would act sooner rather than later. This storm has a history now of producing 2 tornadoes and is continuing to track right along the I-94 corridor. If you have friends, family traveling, give them a heads up. Russ, is that why you're back in?
Oh yeah, no, it is true, and just what you mentioned there, we're talking about, right, fairly slow moving, right? So 20 miles per hour is the direction to the east, and
Yep.
you know what you hope is you don't want to see these things move too slow, obviously, because you know it's just sitting on top of an area, and it sounds like this tornado, as Eric was saying, was just kind of staying put. In other words, it hasn't
Yeah.
lifted; it's been on the ground for a while. And the issue is, you're out and you say, okay, well, 20 miles away, I'm about, 10 miles out. That gives me X amount of time. The thing is, other tornadoes could pop up at any point, could pop up ahead of the one that's in place now. So you're really kind of in a zone. And what's happening is all this this activity that's going on, this severe weather, it continues to move into atmosphere that is very susceptible to seeing new storms pop up. No, there's no cap. There's nothing that's really stopping it as these storms continue to move to the east for the severe weather, severe thunderstorms, or the tornado warnings just to continue to pop up ahead of it. So that's why we get concerned. We start looking at areas, well, like Valley City, like Ariska there, as you, again, continue to push forward over the next couple of hours as we get closer to Castleton, we get closer to Fargo, and we think, okay, there's not a lot in terms of atmospheric energy. Eventually, there will be later this evening, but as Summer's just pointing up right here, you can see that atmospheric energy. And when you see these areas, these heightened areas in red there, even the orange, but especially get toward the red here, I mean, that is just ripe, that atmosphere ripe for continuation of severe weather, for development of severe weather. And I'm going to put this, or at least my hope was, let's see, I may have Summer. I may
That's
have
on the last.
That is on. Okay, there we
hours.
go. There we go. I captured it.
Like the
There we go.
tornado is
So
lifted.
even jumping into here the next couple hours, you can see locations like Fargo, like Fergus Falls, Ellendale certainly, Siston, still in an area where we have got the opportunity to see that development very easily with this type of atmospheric energy for these storms to continue to develop. And as you see, that continues even as we slide slowly into midnight. Atmosphere will continue to still produce enough energy there for these storms to develop. Plenty of lift, plenty of instability with this. And by the way, I know Summer's back here in control, but look at all that lightning there as well.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Just getting an update from Eric. He says the tornado appears to have lifted.
Okay. Good
So
news there.
that is good news there, yeah. Just a minute ago at 9:19, now 9:20, Eric says it appears the tornado has lifted. Eric, looking pretty dark there as well. I know we're getting closer to sunset here. What is your next plan of action?
Summer, I'm going to continue to try and move off to the east here, trying to stay safely ahead of this storm as it continues to make its way off towards the east. But I do not believe that this storm is done producing. There's not a lot in front of it that's going to slow it down, basically, and we continue to have very strong inflow into the storm. It is riding the warm front. I would expect to see a continued tornado threat for this on this storm for a while yet. I don't think it's done.
Yeah, and as Russ Thomas was just saying here, there's nothing inhibiting these storms. For most of the day, we had a cap in place, and you've maybe heard us talk about the cap before in regards to severe weather, kind of a lid in the upper levels of the atmosphere that keeps storms from growing. That dissipated by about 7 o'clock. So storms were able to freely develop, and that's exactly what we've seen. It looks like we've got a new tornado warning as well for that same storm. Still that observed tornado threat.
Right, got a couple that just came in, one northeastern Lemoore and southeastern Stutzman, which again, this is the area we've continued to see these tornadoes pop up here just in the last half hour, actually about an hour or so now. Now this is moving to the east at 30 miles per hour. Now, yes, thank you, Summer. I'll let you take control of this again. We're looking at the hazards here. Tornado, of course, baseball size hail. So it's, I mean, obviously tornado. That's the worst part of it. You start talking about baseball size hail, even if that tornado is not on top of you, that kind of hail is enough to injure you or even worse. So with that in mind, please make sure you can find your way a sturdy structure somewhere indoors, inside the interior of your home, certainly away from windows. So that particular warning goes until 9:45, and this is located about 5 miles east of Adrian, which is 23 miles southeast of Jamestown. It is moving a little bit quicker pace at about 30 miles per hour to the east. And we talked about this just a minute ago, and that was that these storms kind of vary in the speed that these these tornadoes are actually moving, can pick up speed, slow down a little bit. So now we've got a system here, or a storm, I should say, tornado that's moving at 30 miles per hour to the east. Also, one that just popped up here This is until 10 o'clock, I believe. Yeah, there you go. Observed tornado counties, Barnes County, cities, again, Valley City, the one we just talked about there, where Eric was saying, hey, if you're in Valley City right now, want to go ahead, make sure you hunker down, find that spot where you're away from windows, make sure you take cover, go to interior room, a closet, somewhere where you can be protected from things flying around, debris flying around at home. And again, that is until 10 p.m. This tornado warning. Again, you can see some of the safety tips right here that are pulled up. We have I'm sorry, I've got bad eyes here. Basement, lowest level away from windows. Get low, protect your head, as mentioned. Evacuate and seek shelter in a sturdier structure if you are in a mobile home, apartment, office, school, first level hallways. Again, this is mainly for apartment at this point. Interior room, away from windows. Again, get low and protect your head. And that's really the big thing. More than anything, sturdy structure, away from windows, making sure you protect yourself.
And making sure that you've got multiple ways to receive these alerts and warnings. You may be watching us right now on your TV. You might be watching us from your phone or social media. I know we're up on various platforms right now. Those are great ways to receive this information. So your Valley News Live weather app, our website, valleynewslive.com, here on air, on our social media platforms that we're streaming, YouTube, Facebook. A NOAA weather radio is a great way to receive those warnings as well. And if you're subscribed to wireless emergency alerts that come onto your phone as well. But one thing with these warnings, make sure you're able to hear them overnight.
Right.
I'm notorious for silencing my phone. A night like tonight is not a night that you're going to want to silence your phone. You want to make sure your volume is on in case you end up in the path of one of these not only tornado warnings, but severe thunderstorm warnings that later on tonight will be capable of gusts of 80 to 90 miles per hour. So want to reiterate that storms later tonight, even when that tornado threat starts to diminish, will still be very dangerous. So you want to take those proper precautions.
And I do want to, Summer, if you could look back here,
Yep.
or I could try to find it. I know you've been here. Maybe this is what we're looking for right here, or what I'm looking for, and that is that severe storm threat. I just want to, again, let you know, because this has been updated here in the last, hour and a half or so,
Yep.
where all of a sudden we've jumped in that big red area, that moderate area. And again, this is just kind of doubling down on what we expected. We were in that enhanced area. Again, no surprise at all that we are seeing these tornadoes. And what this tells you as you look at this, I'm going to come right next to you. I'm not going to push you out of the way, Summer. You're doing great. I'm just going to say it. So we were already seeing, of course, that area in orange, as mentioned, that enhanced area. Well, now we've got this moderate area. Notice it doesn't just stop here in eastern North Dakota and does not stop at the River Valley. It continues, and what that is telling you is all these areas, even though we're seeing the action right now in our western areas, James River Valley, this again tells you that over the next several hours, there is that potential to continue to see the severe weather threat. It's not just tornadoes, but of course it does include that. We are talking about, even without tornadoes, if it's severe thunderstorm warning, still, we've got that hail at 2+ inches diameter is the expectation. Wind gusts 75+ miles per hour. So again, we're seeing the action right now, those western areas, but as we move through the later evening, overnight hours, we're also going to continue to see that progression off to the east, and we're going to continue to see development of these very strong storms, the tornado-producing storms that are out there. So again, you get to this level, this moderate here, just want to make sure, as Summer just mentioned, make sure you have whatever it is that's the VNL weather app, obviously is the perfect example, but whatever it is that you're using, make sure it's turned on, make sure it's turned up. As Summer was saying, oftentimes I just put my phone on silent and I'm done for the night.
Not tonight.
And it's such a habit for me that I don't even think about it. Let's for tonight. If that's your habit, go ahead and change that right now. Turn the volume up and keep it up so that we can keep you as informed as quickly as possible. You'll have the information because we're going to be here for you.
Yeah, in the timeline, this is going to continue through the early overnight hours. Our tornado watch is in effect until 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's currently 9:27. So we're really just getting started. These storms started firing about 8 o'clock, so it's been about an hour and a half now that we've seen the tornado potential and tornado history on these storms. So we've still got a couple of warnings in place. Got to reload my screen here. All right, there we go. We've got this. I'm going to turn off the lightning data. It's overwhelming, so you can see better. This tornado warning remains in effect until 10 o'clock. It includes the city of Valley City. Again, this is right along the I-94 corridor.